Sup guys, it's Desro. We're back with game episode 2 of Bronze to Master Panda style. So we left off, I think it was a little over 2 weeks. So how many? A week, it says a week. We lost here because I got sniped by a Min-Master Protoss player. He had the same name as me, as you can see. But yeah, anyway, so we went 3-1 last time. So basically, if you don't know what Bronze to Master is, some people, you know, Bronze to Master, they make like a marathon and they just cheese, or they just play a lot of games in 24 hours. That's not what we're doing here. What we're doing here, the music is breaking my balls. What we're doing here is I'm explaining everything I do to you guys. I explain a lot of stuff about PvZ and or all the matchups, you know, like little positioning, spawn on positioning, army composition, everything. So the beauty of playing versus bronze people is that I don't have to focus. I don't have to try that hard, and I can still explain like everything I do. So. Then eventually we're gonna get to masters, and then I'll be still explaining a lot of stuff. Then the new stuff, you know, because the game changes, and then maybe I'll restart the bronze to master. I'll start again from bronze and do it again. I don't know what's the plan, but yeah, it's the goal. It's what we're doing here. We're not doing any crazy cheeses. We're just trying to play and scout and explain a lot of stuff. Like some people in chat were like, yeah, you should just finish the game under 7 minutes. No, that's not the goal here. Sure, you can play like that and you can go up in leagues, but really the goal of this show is just to help people learn the game, because you know, of course, they can watch my my stream when I coach and stuff. They can learn a lot from that, but unless I'm coaching a bronze player, they're not gonna get everything. They're not gonna understand. I'm not gonna be explaining like every single thing. So yeah. Of course, we're on C server, and I think it's like 9 AM or something over there. So I don't know how many people we're gonna get that's bronze and play at that time of the day. Also, if you have questions, you can ask in chat. However, if it's not about the game, if not about strategy, I'm probably not gonna answer it. Don't think I don't like you. No, I do like you. But the goal really of this show is to try to keep it as educational as possible. Last time we did about an hour. Well, we did a little over an hour. Here we're, I don't know how long we're gonna do. Was it? Yeah, it was Zerg. Oh god, we're a little bit behind here. Oh, and my hotkeys are messed up. I explained the hotkeys last week. There's a few things, like if I explain in episode 1, really just watch episode 1 if you missed it, so you can understand a lot of stuff. We can move the hotkeys. So I have explained like everything last week about the hotkeys and some of the options graphical wise. One thing I changed about last week is I put the physics on extreme, because that's a little bit more pretty for the stream. You see a few things bounce off. So we have a Zerg. We always want to scout after Panda on Zerg against Zerg. So you always want to do 2 chronos on Nexus. If you do Forge first, you want to do 3 chrono on Nexus. It's a little laggy because it's on C, of course, but it's okay. We're men's, or brave ladies, I guess, if there's ladies watching. It kind of looks like he's doing Ash first. I'm kind of late to prevent it. Or I guess he's just going to scout me with his drone, because his drone is nowhere to be found. The reason I know that there was a drone somewhere is because when my probe was around here, I heard, "Your probe is under attack!" And that's the good indicator. Like, if you think like playing with sound is cool and good, think twice, because it doesn't really help you that much. So this guy's like sort of a delayed pull, doesn't really make sense. But here again, we're in bronze. As he scouted with the drone, I don't know why. Some people will scout with a drone, and what they'll do, so I'm leaving this on all positions so I can micro back at home. Some people will scout it with a drone, but that's because they'll try to block your hatchery. So if you're like actually afraid of that, you kind of want to bring out 2 probes down to your natural, so you can fight off the drone. Now this little guy's on all position. The moment he starts getting attacked, I'm gonna have to go micro him for now. I can just not worry about him. We're gonna keep running probes a little bit. Not too much, because you don't want to delay the gas so much, and you don't want to delay the core so much, but you also don't want to be floating chrono boost. And of course, the earlier you chrono boost, the earlier you have more probes. And then now, like, he's not trying to fight my probe at all, so links will come out eventually, so it's better to just move out of, just be outside of where, like, don't let him know where you are and just come back later. Like, it improves the lifespan of your probe, because if he, like, let's say he starts attacking my probe right now, like, if I scout right now, this probe is dead. Like, he's not gonna make it back home. But if he doesn't find my probes, then my probe can stay longer on the map, and then scout a little bit later, and then still survive. So like I was saying, like I was explaining, we're gonna do into a third build. We're gonna do it into a third build. But yeah, just run a little bit of probes. I could have like double on. Yeah, okay. So I see I see an expand, and his slings still haven't attacked me. So the odds of this probe making it back alive are still pretty good. Now, how much gas is he doing to base? That's a lot of gas. So he took about, he had like 2290 something. So I know that he has a lot of gas. The odds of him doing a 2 base all-in are there. Of course, it could just be it could just be like a tech build, a 2 base build, like War Swarmos or something. Now with this build, this is a little fancy. You don't really have to do this if you're like really bronze. What you can do is you can do Zod Sentry and do the same follow-up. There's going to be a build about this on my YouTube this week probably. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a little fake pressure into grabbing third eventually. So we're doing a fake pressure into grabbing a third base. Now, should I kill this? I think I should, but I don't think I'm gonna get it. Yeah, I'll get it. Alright. Whoa. Did I rally probes? Well, we'll use that guy for fake Panda. So, we're making some sentries back home. We're doing a bit of Warkey research. We're getting a robo. So right now we have 4 gates, which should be good enough to defend a quick third base. Okay, so that's a lot of links. So, usually, like, people don't randomly do that. They might all in, like, with that. But, like, you have to keep in mind, like, that's a lot of links, aka that's not a lot of drones. Like, that's a lot of larvae into links. So that's fine. That's a victory in itself. So, yeah, I have a sentries right here. I'm probably not going to use that sentry so I can scout with hallucination. Now that hallucination is free. And so if I start using that sentry, you know, and I force field, then I'm not gonna have energy for hallucination. So we're gonna move on here, grab a third, so we have a little bit too much money. Then once I cast hallucination, I'll use it. The thing is, like, hallucination, observer's kind of slow. Hallucination is really quick, so that's why I prefer. Oh, that's why I prefer to. So my upgrade on my forge finish, you never want to have downtime. So we're gonna get armor. Some builds you'll have like a quicker twilight, so like going for like weapon upgrades are better, but you can't always do that. So yeah, we just have to suck it up and get armor. You know, I'm just a big fan of weapon, but at the end of the day, if you have no downtime on your forge, that's the better option. So that's a late layer of second gas, a lot of drones right there. Roach Run, I don't know, this guy is like the typical, like, I'm bronze and scared. Like, so those drones are just fresh. You can confirm by just clicking the mineral line. So like most of the mineral lines are very fresh. So basically his life is going to be very difficult because I'm just going to have so much more than him. Transform the gates, maybe leave a cannon, make more pylons. If you don't know where to make pylons, I mean, this is an Arthrosis pylon, so we can help it. Always get some upgrades. Blink's really good. Makes your stalker a lot more cost efficient. Don't get the gases too late because you really need a lot of gas. Like if you're playing like really late third base, it limits your option of like going Stargate, going Colossus, which is not a bad idea. Getting Colossus is always something you should want to do. At higher levels, Colossus kind of suck versus Vipers. So yeah, if you do go Colossus and they start having Vipers, life is going to be difficult, but that's when you get Storm. or you get Templar for feedback. The reason I'm a big fan of Colossus is because it's reliable versus Swarmos. Now, you see I don't have a lot of gas, so like imagine if I grab my gases on my third a little later. Some things you should always want to do, and I'm not doing because I'm talking a lot, is you should always fight for the Watchtower. So I'll make more Zealots. I'll actually send it like to maybe Eras's third a little bit. Always make more Zealots. So we're keeping on here. In Wings of Liberty I would do double forge style a lot more, but now I feel like your gas is sort of limited the way it works. Because you know you kind of want Stargate and you kind of want. This is a little scary. Like if this would be at my level, I'd be scared of like a Baneling drop. But this guy's just not scouting. So like I was saying, like Stargate's pretty good, but you kind of don't want to die to Vipers. So so like my follow-up here would have been to add a lot more gates. Like I have a lot of minerals compared to gas, so you know harass a little bit more with Zealots, and then my follow-up would have been Storm, simply to get rid of the Vipers, so my Colossus don't die and can be like a lot more cost efficient. But mixing in Void Rays is valid as well. It's just that I think it's better to have Templar to protect yourself from Vipers than having Void Rays, because Void Rays are gonna get grabbed too. So yeah, that's my opinion, I guess. You're spending money on 3 bases. You want, so we have 6 gates right now. On 3 bases, you want about 12 gates, or 10 gates would be fine if I'd add a Stargate. But since I'm about to make Templars, like I'm gonna be having too much money and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna move on here. I just wanted to at least finish my point about macro games. But yeah, this guy, man, he tapped out.
Replay saved.
I'm not exactly too sure what happened there. He had like a mid-game crisis. So now, guys, if you have any questions in chat, feel free to ask. Yeah. Keep it strategy related, so we can keep this show as educational as possible. I guess I'll go up in the chat. Maybe there was something. Yeah, I'll try to explain a little bit how to use the shift key to send a few things. That's right. I did that in my guide number 8. But I haven't done this. I haven't done it in Bronze to Master, so I'll try to focus on that. You know, removing units with Shift Command, adding units with Shift Command, and try to call it out every time I do it, because you know, for me it's very natural. But some of the folks at lower leagues, you know, they don't re-hotkey the army every time they add some units, and that's kind of like an important thing to do. Yeah. Alright, so we have a Terran this time around. He's playing an unranked game. Well, no, it's not unranked. I mean, he's unranked. Usually when you're playing an unranked game, it's still going to display your league. Yeah, someone is a little confused and thinks I went for armor first last game. I did get weapon first, but it's always sad when you have to get armor over +2 weapon. But some of the builds you do, or at least that I do, there's like a delayed twilight, like you can't really afford it earlier. So you're stuck either having downtime on your forge or getting armor, and you never want downtime. No, I don't think I was saying that I got armor first. I was talking about downtime and sucking it up and having to get armor over +2 weapon. Alright, someone came, yeah, alright. So here, I mean, it's we're playing versus Terran, so you kind of want to scout early. You kind of want to delay your second chrono on Nexus. You want to delay your second chrono Nexus, because otherwise, when you scout early, you don't have as much money. So like see right here, like I wasted chrono boost. That's the last thing you want to do. So those are like adjustments you have to make. It's delay the second chrono if you don't want to be wasting chrono boost. Now that guy, I saw a CV at his natural, and that was kind of weird. So I don't know what he plans on doing with that. Maybe he's checking for proxy 2 gate, or maybe he will make like a 2 racks. Like sometimes they'll make the second racks over there, thinking you won't see it, and they're gonna all in you. So it's good to stay aware of what could happen. Oh no, he just rallied this SCV there. I guess he's gonna take an expand. Usually, you know, when they you want to chrono your probes 4 times, by the way. So I'm chronoing a 4th time here, getting the sellout, of course. A lot of people sometimes, if they use W for warp gates, they're not gonna hotkey the initial gate, and the downside of that, and the reason you shouldn't do that, is because you can't set the rally points, you know. So I think it's like really important if you use W and you never hotkey your. I'm gonna make the mothership core. Sometimes I get the stalker first, but I feel like if I make stalker's hot push, he's probably gonna fall apart, and we're gonna have a short game. And I'm trying to be as educational as possible. But yeah, it's really important to be able to set the rally point, you know, onto your zealot or right here, or to be flexible with it. The last thing you want is really to have to go back, click, and then bam, you know. What I can do instead is just tap 1 and then press 3 without having to go and look back. The same thing with camera locations. Camera locations were, of course, explained in episode 1. I should probably label the episodes. Label the episodes like what it includes. The stalker, you always want to get it, although like he's playing pretty greedy. So we're gonna get a robo quickly, and the upside of getting an early robo like this is let's say you were to grab a quick 3rd CC, then all-inning with Colossus will be quicker and a little easier. If this would be Wings of Liberty, I wouldn't recommend doing what I'm doing, but in this situation, I don't think this guy's a bad player. He was unranked after all, so this, well, I don't understand what's happening now. One thing I was explaining earlier when I was coaching, so I killed a few CVs. One thing I was explaining earlier when I was coaching is like, if they're not being aggressive, don't cut workers to add gates. And that's the same goes for, like, you know, Stargate production or some other stuff. Like, if your priority right now is to get something, is to make a lot of Stargate units because it's gonna allow you to come back or whatever, then don't cut that for something that's not needed. Like, I have map control right now. I don't necessarily need more units. Like, I will know when he's gonna come out, and I'll make units. It's like a little bit like how Zerg plays. And so you want to play reactionary to what they're doing. Of course, if you're committing to an all-in or something like that, it's all different. But yeah. So transforming the gates now. The build we're gonna do is blink armor. So we're gonna get a few sentries. Actually, this ramp's pretty large, so we might get 3 soon here. Alright, so observers. You want 3 observer always. 1 for drops, 1 to check his 3rd, and 1 to you want chrono probes until you have 16 probes at the natural. You always want a re-hotkey. So what you do is, let's say I add the zealots, and then you hold shift and you box, and then you do control 1 again. Alright, so I hotkey my forge. I like to hotkey that. So naked racks and a lot of racks. Like this might be just like a lot of marines, and he's gonna attack me. So we're gonna add the Robo Bay. By the way, I'm not explaining the build like every timing and every time, but there's a guide, guide number 14 if you want to check it out. This guy, yeah, I thought this guy was gonna be like, his build looked like he was better than bronze level, but now that I see the size of his army and his SCV count, unfortunately for him, he still has some way to go. So I have 3 observers, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here for the 3rd. But he's not adding a 3rd. Now, if he would be to move out, this one that's hotkeyed would follow his army. Now, this probe doesn't need to be there since I have observers. Same thing if you leave a stalker outside his base. You don't need to leave the stalker when the observers come out because you should see when he comes out or he moves out. I'm kind of cutting on workers a little bit here because I don't need to make that many workers. Like, I have to see if he... Well, he has like a really small army, so I could grab a third and still be fine with a smaller army to defend. But you have to wait. Like, is he grabbing a third? Well, if he's not grabbing a third, I'm spreading myself really thin versus drops, and it's gonna be harder for me to defend. So it's better to wait for him to grab a third. And yeah, the only downside to that is you're gonna be missing out on gas to transition into storm. But if you stop at one Colossus and you mix in a lot of Zealots, you should be okay. Now the downside to that second Colossus is my charge going to be delayed. And charge being delayed is kind of bad when you're relying on Zealots. You're relying on Zealots because you want to transition into Storm, and the reason you transition into Storm is because it's going to help you leave a Templar here and a Templar here and defend drops. So this guy's still not moving out. He's, you know, just having a little picnic over there. Alright, so here's the third. Usually they move out at like around 10 minutes with drops, but this guy's one of a kind. He's not moving out at 10 minutes. As you grab a third, you want to add a second forge. Now you see my map vision, it's not bad, but it could use a little improvement. Usually when you have an observer on one side, you want to try to cover the other side with pylons. That usually helps. I have a lot of chrono, so we're going to spin our chrono. Now, the first medevacs haven't popped out. So, and he's not putting pressure. So because of that, the first Templars will be my defending Templars. If he would be putting pressure, I would be better off with Templars with my main army, because you know he might attack my main army, and if I don't have Templar, life could be harder. But now that he's not putting pressure, my Templars that are for defending drops, they're gonna have storm, so they're gonna be much better. So this is a win situation. Him not putting pressure is not making me worry, and it's making me have stronger defense. Now, you can leave like 2-3 Zealots. That way, you already have Zealots when you warp in, and they kind of take the damage for your Templar. So that kind of helps. So I was on 6 gates. 6 gates is okay for this build. That's how I like it. But as you grab a third, you definitely need more gates. You can go up to 12 gates. We're gonna go up to 12 gates. Yeah. 10's fine too. When you're getting close to max, you always want 4 Colossus, but when you're getting close to max, you want to add a second Warble. But we're far from getting max. I thought we were close to getting max. So that guy's got pretty decent upgrades, to be honest. Also, like 1 cannon per mineral line, like in case they go over your defense and they drop here, the cannon will tank fire, and you will not lose probes right away. So 1 cannon per mineral line on top of having a Templar to defend everywhere. Now we're gonna add some Templars with our army. So you see, like I'm pressing 1, I'm holding shift, I'm grabbing those, and I'm doing control 1 again. One thing you can do is you can just grab those and do shift 1. As you can see, it went from 16 to 19. I don't do that. I maybe should. I know a lot of players do that. It would be better for some situations. It would be worse for others. I should probably mix the two. That's one of the things I guess I have to improve next on my list of things to improve for my mechanics. But my mechanics, I feel, are pretty good. Well, as I say that, I get supply block. So I have a flanking group of Templar right here. They're gonna help me flank his army and make a sandwich. So you see, like I have like a decent amount of gates. That's for my flanking group. I have about 6 stalkers. Those are to pick off medevacs and defend Vikings. I haven't seen. Oh, that's actually like a decent amount of Vikings. Alright, so he's posturing right now. He's trying to pick a good place to fight. He's gonna go over my third. We're gonna move this little guy and pop the thing. We're gonna sandwich, pop Guardian Shield, blink back the Stalkers to give a chance to remove the Colossus. Run, little Colossus. So yeah, he lost everything. But blinking behind my Zealots kind of sucks. Like, you kind of never want to do that. But if all the Zealots are stuck behind it because you made your army be out of position, then yeah, you kind of want to do that. Like the last, like I lost. I was about to beat like Cloud in DreamHack, and all my Zealots were stuck behind my army, behind my Stalkers and my Archons, and that's not a situation you want to be in. So do what you have to do. Here, I mean, before attacking, it would be nice to reposition, maybe position better observers, have an idea of what the fuck we're about to do. I don't have any pylons here. Usually I would have a pylon right around here. I guess we'll grab a 5th. We'll push in with those. Oh, he still hasn't seen me? Oh, I see what's going on. He didn't kill the rocks. So you want to blink and kill the this poor guy struggling. But yeah, I hope I explained a lot of things about the matchup and things you want to do and try to do first. One thing we missed out on was mixing in Dark Shrine. The thing is, when they're on 3 base, a Dark Shrine can be hard to utilize. Like, it doesn't take long for them to just go defend the DTs. Of course, that's kind of like negative thinking, because it's always good to try to like make them have to multitask. But if it be like a bigger map at my level, I'd mix in DTs. If we're talking like Planet S or Whirlwind, but on this map, I feel like, yeah, DTs can be a little hard to use. But yeah, at that point, all I had left to do was mix in DTs, make a second Robo, make few Immortals, and have a 4th, and grab the gases there, because my main was mining out, so I could have done long distance mining between my 4th and my natural, because that was the closest base. Long distance mining is better than having a oversaturated base. So I'm gonna queue up another game. If there's questions in chat, just feel free to ask, as long as it's about StarCraft 2, so we can keep the show as educational as possible, of course. You can also follow me here on Twitch TV, so you can come back another day. I try to do this Bronze to Master once a week. Unfortunately, last week I was kind of sick, so I missed out. So this week there's going to be 2 episodes, 1 episode today, 1 episode on Friday. You can actually find my schedule in chat or on Facebook. So we have Bronze to Master today. Tomorrow we have coaching with April. It's a lovely lady. We're going to be coaching her. She's about gold. And then on Wednesday we're going to have I'm going to be trying to do 2 guides on Wednesday, because I know you guys need a lot of help. And then on Thursday, the good old replay Thursday, and Friday should be Bronze to Master episode 3. On Saturday I'll try to learn Korean and take a day off and relax. And then on Sunday we'll have Fan Wars. If you're wondering what's happening with Fan Wars, we played Leia, and then we got Crush 0-3, and then we played Flo, and unfortunately Flo, you know, she dyed her hair blonde, and I think that was very fitting for that specific day. Turns out she didn't have a working microphone, so we couldn't talk trash on Skype, and yeah, but we ended up losing 1-2. People are really hard to. It's really hard for me to carry people, but yeah, here we have a Protoss. I will try to. Well, I mean, so someone's asking about the Mothership Core usage. So the Mothership Core usage is really situational, depending on like what matchup you're playing. So like against Stern, since they have Vikings and it's like a Mothership Core is really fragile. I would just keep it for defense. Now, if you're playing versus Zerg, the the corruptors are not. They're kind of slow. They don't have as long range as Vikings. So I'd carry it with my army. You know, time warp or recall can be nice. And you don't need like drop defense like you would against Terran. So in Protoss, I don't know. I haven't played a lot of late game. Sometimes you want to be aggressive with the Mothership Core since it gives you vision over the ramp. But yeah. So that's my opinion about the Mothership Core. Now a lot of people ask, when do I get a Mothership Core? The Mothership Core is flexible. You know, some builds in PvP, actually this matchup that we're about to do, I don't even get it because it's too much gas, and I'm a lot safer with like more sentries. For example, if let's say I'm afraid of him putting pressure with 4-gate or something, Mothership Core doesn't do much because you'll lose a lot if they get in your base, while if you make an extra sentry, they won't get in. And hopefully if you're being defensive versus a 4-gate, you have some plan, like an Oracle or something. You have some plan to be aggressive. If you have no plans and you're just being defensive and he's containing you, then it's a little unfortunate. Anyway, so the build we're about to do is Stargate build. I think it's like the safest build I can explain and show. I've been doing some DT build. I've been doing some 4-gate, proxy 2 gates. But this build right here, I feel, is the most reliable one. It holds 4-gate, which is quite nice. Alright, so this guy has 2 gates like that, and he doesn't seem to have a core just yet, which means, alright, English, that's for English, which means he might have like a few zealots to be aggressive with. So we're definitely going to be making the Mothership Core, but of course we're going to make the Stargate first because we want to be able to harass him. We're actually going to get a zealot behind or sentry. Then we have enough workers. We have 16 workers. We're going to make the Mothership Core. Also going to be making pylons so we can warp in close to the ramp. Usually with this build, like, it's situational. Like, usually I'd make the second gate before the zealot, but in this case, the possibility of him making a lot of zealots and be aggressive with it is real. Like, it's a beta thing, and a beta like Wings of Liberty thing. Like, people would make zealots and just come at you, and it didn't really happen at high levels, but it was a thing in lower level leagues. My students, they were victims of said thing. Now, sending the Oracle, the bottom point of the map is really not the best place, but it's the safest because if they have proxy pylons, it's most likely going to be around here instead of here. So what we're going to do is, usually I do 3-gate, but that guy had like really delayed cyber. It's probably going to fall apart, by the way. Well, I mean, we'll play safe. So you go for 3 gates. If they're 4-gating or you're being afraid, you can chrono warp your research. Here I wasn't really afraid because I can force field and I have a Mothership Core. But yeah, and then I guess you kind of want to resume workers. And now, depending on, like, let's say like their expand is finished, that's too early for you to come back with an expand, unless like you kill a ridiculous amount of probe with the Oracle. Let's say if that expand is finished, then you kind of want to all in. Otherwise, you just want to go into macro, and macro and Art of the Swarm in PvP is who has more Stalker, Voyager. So here what you want to do is you want to pop it and you want to do hold position, because like look look at how slow it is to move forward. So if you put it on hold position, it's gonna kill people as quickly as possible, and this guy is falling apart here. And you don't want to attack the Stalker. Hey, you don't want to attack the Stalker. This this Oracle, man, it must be the delay, because I like kept telling him to not attack the Stalker, and he was all rebel. So I mean, he's lost a lot of workers. He's on 3 gates. We're gonna spare his life. You know, it's like he's on like one leg. He's trying to run from like a war battlefield or like he's turning into zombie, and this is like The Walking Dead. Now, so every time you add something, just re-hotkey. It's very important. Bring the probe. You can send it forward, but he might see the probe, so we'll just put the probe like this. Now, the mothership core, I don't like to hotkey it because then it takes over priority in your control group. So I just make it follow one of my units, and usually that's good enough. So I have a little bit of workers, I have a little bit of chrono. Now, you want to stop making units out of your Stargate, because it doesn't come right away, so that's like not super useful for an attack. So we're going to stay on gateway units. We're actually going to wait for at least one more warp in. This pylon kind of sucks. I want a closer pylon, and I don't want like 1,000 pylons outside this base. Let's say if my tech would be to fail. So we're not gonna wait for this void ray. We're gonna pop Guardian Shield, and we're not gonna attack the rocks. Then you want to make sure to pop charge. Try to focus fire a little bit. Make sure to not lose the void rays. He's focusing the mothership core, which didn't really work out to his advantage. So we have a little bit of money here. We can continue probes. With a 4 gate, I would have been able to spend my money entirely. But yeah, when you use oracles, it's really the best to just do hold position and then start moving it once they pull the probes. Oh, we made it to silver, guys. But yeah, you put it on hold position. You never want to attack the stalkers. Keep in mind the oracle has 4 range. So if you are far away from the stalker and you're still in hold position, it's going to attack probes, which is kind of convenient. Otherwise, you kind of have to shift command killing probes. But yeah, let's see if there's a few questions in chat that might be useful that I can answer for you guys to learn about the game. I hope the answer about the mothership core early to late game. Of course, versus Zerg late game, a real mothership for cloak can be really helpful as long as it doesn't get pulled in by Vipers. So you kind of want it at the back of your army, a little bit like what I did with that mothership core. You know, you put it on a move command onto one of your Colossus or something, so it stays at the back of your army. Oh yeah. In PvP, you want to scout after gate. Sometimes you can scout later, but that's greedy, and it can be harder to hold proxy 2 gate. I'm pretty sure my strat can beat DT, Archon, Zealot, Bust. If they do Archon, and you just put 3 pylons at the top of your ramp, and 3 pylon is beefy enough that they're gonna lose a lot of units before they get a chance at attacking anything, really. So and then what you do is you focus fire the Archon, and then you force wheel after that, and then they're not going very far. Yeah, well, the thing is I didn't get to send a few units over somewhere, so I didn't get to show the shift thingy, but alright, it seems like there's not that many questions, mostly people talking with each other. How do you hold the proxy 2 gates? That's a little tricky. You just need good unit control, so it's really hard at lower level leagues. If it's inside your base, you need to go 2 gates yourself. You can do 1 gate, 1 forge. I've had mixed success with 1 gate, 1 forge, and I've had really good success with 2 gates, as long as I didn't micro my zealots like a monkey. But if it's outside your base, you're better off with a stalker and kiting. Now, you want to try to surround his zealots before he gets up to more than 3. So when he has 1 or 2 or 3 zealots, you want to pull a lot of your probes and try to kill a zealot or 2. And then after that, you put back the probes on minerals, and then you want to make stalkers and kite. And eventually, like, because you have to keep in mind he has like less than 10 workers. So yeah, you have like 14, maybe 15 workers. So it's okay to lose a few, as long as you can come back. And once you have stalkers, once you have like 2 or 3 stalkers, it becomes really easy to kill someone who's doing proxy 2 gate. Now we have a random player over here, and nice lag. So yeah, versus a random player, we have to scout on 9. Holy cow, I send my probe to make the pot on ult too early here. By the way, keep in mind that if you're asking questions while I'm playing, I really can't answer you because it's really hard to commentate this much and play. Like, even though I'm playing versus bronze people, sometimes I sound like I'm having stuttering, but it's just because my brain's trying to do so much all at once. All at once. Alright, so this is probably gonna be the last game of episode 2. It's been about 45 minutes since we started. If he's Zerg and he... Oh, yeah. I was gonna cancel the... Oh, but see, he's doing an early pull, so that's fine. We're gonna keep the gate. We're just gonna do like a very, like, old school gateway expand. Like, a lot of people, they see, like, some pro players do this, and they always ask me, Desro, why don't you gate expand? It looks so cool. Well, the thing is, it is kind of cool. Is it good? That's another story. The reason I'm not a big fan is because it leaves you like super predictable, and being predictable is not something I like. Like, I feel like you have a lot more options opening with like oh, am I supply block right now? For real? I'll just die, bro. I'm sorry. It's for the greater good. I don't like being predictable. I feel like you have a lot more options with Forge Expand. And I feel like it's a lot harder for people to understand how to gate expand. It's much easier to just do Forge Expand. So what we're going to do is we're going to expand, I think, after 1 Stalker. I didn't see if he had a gas. If he has a gas, it can be a little tricky. Of course, this wall, it's kind of weak versus Banelings, so you have like to keep in mind that. So yeah, we're going to try to get the probe saturation going. The reason I'm getting a Stalker is because the Stalker can scout and kite the Zerglings a little bit. We're going to chrono it as well, just so we can start getting the expand eventually. Oh. Yeah, this guy is, and the Stalker was close enough to the entrance that the Lynx can't go any further. Well, he might have been able to, I don't know, like if he pushed his way in. But yeah, I mean, it could have, like, if he has speed, I might die here. That's the problem, is like I suicided my scouting probe and I didn't scout after that. So that's a little tricky. So I have the Stalker on 2. When the sentry gets out, I'll put him on 1. Desro, why are you not making a Mothership Core? Is a Mothership Core going to help me? Right now, it's a lot of minerals, and I kind of need a wall. So yeah, that's why I'm not making a Mothership Core. You also don't want to cut probes. If I do not see an expand, okay, I see an expand, I would have cut the probe and finished the wall. And this is twice today. Oh, I should have stayed and looked what he had, but I guess we'll go watch the replay.
Replay saved.
Oh, yeah, that guy was actually platinum. We're making waves in the bronze or in the silver leagues. Alright. So yeah, he lost a lot. Like, if you look at the unit loss tab, well, I lost a probe, but the thing is, he lost, that was like a lot of lings, and that makes him not have larva. That's a thing to consider. Oh, I think he left because he thought, I don't know what he thought. Maybe he thought I was forgetting when I was just like scouting with a Stalker. Yeah, he probably thought I was forgetting. Like, he didn't see my probe go down or my expand. and his overlords were quite out of position. Like this one should have been closer to my base. But yeah, so I'll since it was like a little shorter session than usual, I'll take questions from chat, of course, strategy questions, so that I can go into. Oh, I get an achievement. But yeah, I'll take questions from chat. So if you have any questions, so we can put that into the Bronze to Master episode 2. If you just tuned in, this is a thing I do weekly. There's been an episode 1 already. It's on my YouTube if you want to catch up on it. Also, for my YouTube VODs, feel free to leave questions at any time. I always answer my YouTube comments when there's people asking questions. If you guys have questions that's not StarCraft related about strategy, I will not answer you, simply because I'm trying to fit your questions into my show. So I want people to learn about the game, not learn about me. Watching streaming for hours, you always get a really quick Mothership Core when you 1 gate expand versus Zerg, and does really stalker pressure. I think it's yeah, I saw Sase, and I didn't enjoy. I didn't like it works well for him because he has like really good force fields, and his 4 or 5 gate pressure that he puts on does really well. But I don't like it because either the Zerg stays on 2 base and then you kind of don't have tech, or the Zerg grabs a 3rd and die and like mis-scouted you. Like, yeah, I'm just not a fan of the style. I think Forge Expand is better, and we'll see the Kespo players and the GSL players what they choose. The thing with Gate Expand is that it allows you to have like a quicker Stargate, which can open up new windows of opportunity. So that's like really the only reason I think it's decent. But some of the gateway pressures people do after Gate Expand, they don't inspire me at all. Let's see if there's a few more questions. What's the best and fastest way to select 3 probes for gas? It comes with time. You just need mouse accuracy, really. You need mouse accuracy. What I do is I try to not take probes that are on close patches. Sometimes I won't do 3 right away. I'll do like 2 and 1 or 1 1 1. I rarely do 3 probes unless it's like or at least not for the first base. But like ultimately what you want is your probes to be mining 2 per patch at every base. So that takes a lot of babysitting. Like I've been doing it for the first and second base. Like I've been doing it for the first base for a very long time. I started doing it I think today for the second base, and eventually I'll try to always have my third base, the probes, well set up. Because I forgot the difference. There was a math thread on Team Liquid, but the difference is actually quite huge. I'm doing that, yeah. I do not have a Sky Toss strategy versus Zerg, but it's not so complicated. Maps that are really easy to turtle on 3 base are good for it. So maps like Aquilan Waste, maps like, what else would be a good map? Aquilan Waste, Daybreak, but like the downside of going Sky Toss is that they're gonna go up to 5 base if they identify it, or they're gonna try to kill you so you don't get to Sky Toss. So it can be really hard to pull off Sky Toss. Like I think Sky Toss is like too extreme. I don't like that. I like to have mobility. So I haven't done Sky Toss too much. I'm sure there's good Void Ray all-ins in PvZ. I haven't done Void Rays all-in. They're strong, but I haven't done any of them. Well, I mean, if like the gases, if you want to fill your gases and the gases are built after the expand is finished, so like your probes are already mining, then you want to grab like 3 or 2 or 1 and then put them in the gases. If the gases are finished and then you transfer probe to a base, then you want to do is you want to have all your probes selected, and then just do shift command. So like shift, and like, hold on, I can show you like very easily. So if you, let's say like you're transferring like all those probes to this base and the gases are finished, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna click here, you're gonna press shift, and then you're gonna remove 3, click here, press shift, and remove 3. Of course I end up with no probes because I only had 6 probes, but that's how you do it. Let's say the base is already is made, but you forgot the gases. So what I'll do is I'll just like grab the ones from the middle, click, grabs the one from the middle, like, and click. I will rarely do this and just click, unless it's like 4 or 5th or 6th base, and I'm trying to hurry up and I don't really care. But early on, I'm really careful on how I put them in gas, and it all comes with mouse accuracy. You know, you always want to try to box down instead of up. It's a lot harder to be accurate if you do a box like this. Then like this is pretty it's not so hard to be accurate. Alright, a few more questions. Some questions I've already answered. So yeah guys, this was episode 2 of Bronze to Master Panda style. That's me, the Panda, and that's my style. So I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll be back on Friday for another episode. So we're at silver right now. We're, I think, like 7-1, but the loss we had was a min-master sniping me, so it's okay. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, leave it in the description below. I'll try to include a few things I missed. If you think I missed something, or there's something you don't know about and you'd like to know, I'll try to cover it in the next episode. There'll be some guides on Wednesday as well. So thanks to you all for watching.